and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan, and I have played my wildcard. The wildcard is active. There's no turning back now. I've made the decision, and it is final. So today, guys, I'm going to share with you my Game Week 6 scores, as well as my Game Week 7 wildcard team, what I'm going to be rolling with for the future game weeks. Really excited to share this with you guys, so if you do enjoy, please do drop a like, do subscribe if you're new around here as well. Let's get on with the video. I'm excited. Okay, so first of all, a quick glance at our Game Week 6 scores, and 88 points gives me a nice little rank boost. Yes, very, very happy with my Game Week 6 scores indeed. A lot of players performing really, really well, and some players I'm very glad I had in. And yeah, overall, just pretty happy. There are definitely a problem or two in my team, which I will share with you momentarily, but for Game Week 6, it went pretty well. Johnston doing well, Estupinian with the assist, Botman with a goal, clean sheet, Son absolutely smashing it once again against Arsenal, Saka smashing it against Spurs, and Bruno Fernandes also got his goal as well. A little bit disappointed with Haaland, just the one goal and no bonus points, but hey, in general, it's a solid score of 88. I'm very, very happy to have a new rank inside the top 1 million, but that is not good enough for me. I want to push on further, and I'm going to show you exactly how I plan to do that. So, first of all, I just do want to share with you guys my Game Week 7 team before the wildcard. So you can maybe get an idea of why I'm wildcarding my team. So this is how I ideally wanted to line up my team for Game Week 7 before we got a lot of injury news. And you can see that my screen is basically covered in Doritos. I've got a bag of Doritos and I spilled it all over my FPL team because there's little yellow and orange triangles everywhere. Yes, Chilwell has got a suspected hamstring injury. We're not sure if he's going to be available. Botman has got a little problem with his knee, which caused him to miss the League Cup game. Saka also got a problem there as well. He's carrying a knock at the moment. He was unavailable for the midweek game, and Arteta's not really sure if he's going to be available for the Bournemouth game or not. So that's another really, really annoying thing. Maddison also with a knee problem, but this one is a little less serious. And as far as I'm aware, like the Spurs camp is currently saying that actually it's not so bad. He should be available to play against Liverpool, but we will get full confirmation on that hopefully very soon. We've got Ferguson, illness. Again, he was feeling under the weather, so couldn't participate midweek, and he is just becoming an absolute nightmare in my team, and I have to hold my hands up and say I went for Ferguson as a bit of a punt to try and see if I can do some magic in my FPL team and create something from nothing, go for a differential, and it didn't work out, and I have to own that, accept that, but he is another problem in my team right now. As well as that, we have got the looming problem of Johnston. Eventually, he is going to be replaced as the #1 goalkeeper for Crystal Palace. We've got players like Rashford and Fernandes, who, although they got away with it last game week, just about, Man United in general are just not performing to the standard that we hope for. And Crystal Palace, I don't think is the easiest fixture when they're playing a full-strength team. They've been pretty solid defensively so far this season, as have Brentford and then Man City in a few weeks as well. So there are some problems in my team, some players I don't want to have in my team long-term. There's some players I don't want to have in my team short-term as well. And I want to make a change, and I want to keep the momentum going from last game week and really play aggressively. You guys know that I'm a very aggressive FPL manager. I like to really, really go for it, try and make a difference as quickly as I can, try and stay ahead of the game as much as I can. And that's what I plan to do with this wildcard, try and get ahead of everyone else. So that's why I've gone a little bit early. Problems in my team, players I don't really want to hold on to long-term. There's enough players in my current team that I would want to change that to me warrants a wildcard. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I don't think I can navigate this game week with a normal team without taking a -4 or maybe even a -8 just to get by. So at that point, if there's enough other players who want to change in your team, it's wildcard time. So that's where I'm at. It's not going to be for everyone. I think some people will be able to fix their team with just 1 or 2 transfers, or maybe if they've got a stronger bench than I have, then maybe they'll be okay as well. But I'm not happy. So I'm wildcarding. That's it. Okay, guys, so like I say, the wildcard chip is in play. It's already done, so no talking me out of it right now. It's done. The deal is done. So yeah, this team has got a team value of 100.6 million and 0.2 in the bank. It is a team that I think is good right now. There's obviously going to be tweaks and changes between now and the deadline. Nothing is final until that bell rings. So yeah, nothing is final, and I do also want to say this is a wildcard team for me. A lot of you guys are not going to like it. A lot of of you guys are going to think some of the players that I've picked are a little bit too risky. This is just how I like to play FPL, and absolutely no pressure for any of you guys to kind of do similar things. Just because I'm picking them for my team doesn't necessarily mean that I would recommend them to you guys. And in general, I would say that the team that I would recommend for you guys, the wild card, would be slightly different, slightly more sensible than the one I'm going to show you today. But still, I've got to show you this team, guys, so let's do that. So let's start off in goal. We have got Alphonse Areola, 4.2 million, nice and cheap, and a nice fixture against Sheffield United next. So he's going to be the goalkeeper for me for this game week. Got Everton fixture in a few weeks as well. I do think even though West Ham have struggled a little bit at the start of the season, they've had some very tough opponents, and when you play a team like Sheffield United at home, you do hope for a clean sheet. Areola's been doing pretty well for save points as well, so I do appreciate that in him. And honestly, I'm not really too keen to spend too much money on goalkeepers right now because I don't think there's enough clean sheets to go around to make it worthwhile. Into defence, guys, we are going to go for Kieran Trippier first of all. Hey, if you're wildcarding, you're probably going to want to try and fit this guy in, and that's exactly what I've done here. Trippier against Burnley on those set pieces, which we absolutely love. A creative player, and when Newcastle keep a clean sheet, and I do expect them to keep clean sheets, I mean, we've seen them keep clean sheets not just against Sheffield United, but also against the likes of Man City and AC Milan. They are a good defence. They really, really are. And when we get these slightly more favourable fixtures, which is exactly what we do have, we're probably going to get some clean sheets there as well. So Trippier, with the clean sheets, with the bonus, with the creativity, everything I like is in Trippier right now. A little bit expensive, but for now, I think he'll do the job. Next up, we're actually going to go for Kabore, a 4 million defender there. Yeah, some people are going to maybe kind of have some questions about Kabore, but at the end of the day, it's a double game week, and I feel like Kabore is probably the most creative player in that Luton Town team at the moment, which I do quite like. You know, you just got to put yourself in those positive positions to get lucky, and that's exactly what I'm doing with Luton Town players in Kabore. 2 bites of the cherry here. Everton and Burnley, 2 pretty good fixtures, and I do think there's a potential to sneak in 1 clean sheet in here. There's definitely potential for that, but in general, look, hopefully the worst case scenario is going to be a 3 or 4 pointer, and in general, when we've looked at a lot of how much defenders are scoring recently, 1 pointers, 2 pointers, or in the case of Ben Chilwell, 0 pointers, Kabore at 4 million is definitely going to provide a little bit of value and a pretty low risk when you consider that you have 2 chances to get even the most basic amount of points. So hopefully I'll get at least a basic score. Next up, I've got Charlie Taylor in here right now, and a lot of you guys are not going to like this one, and I completely appreciate that. Do really understand why some of you guys are not going to like this pick. He has got Newcastle. He has also got Luton. So really, I'm hoping for the clean sheet in the Luton game. I know Burnley are considered a pretty weak defence, but over the last couple of games, since Taylor has come into the team, she has shored up that defence a little bit. And Burnley are looking a little bit stronger defensively, it has to be said. So yeah, Taylor, I'm not sure if he is 100% nailed, but he certainly started the last 2 games. Burnley fans seem to be very, very enthusiastic about the fact that he is playing and playing very well. So this is hopefully going to be a positive thing for Burnley moving forward. Can we once again manage to try and get the odd clean sheet, a 0-0 draw in the Luton versus Burnley game, and suddenly things are going to look really, really good for me. Newcastle, I'm not so convinced by, but look, at the end of the day, like I say, you are trying to put yourself in a good situation to try and win. But I'm not set on Taylor at all. I'll probably have him in my team as a 3.9 million defender, but there's every chance I swap him out for one of my bench options. That is one of the decisions I still need to make. But did want to highlight Taylor on here as a potential starter. 1% ownership as well. A little cheeky differential for the boys. And yeah, again, we're going for some cheap players here because we know we've got to save a little bit money. You guys know why I've got to try and save some money elsewhere in my team. It's because of one man, and that is Mo Salah. Yes, a very expensive Mo Salah has entered my team finally for the first time this season. And yeah, in general, I've kind of been, I don't know, a little bit on the fence with Salah, to be honest. I do still firmly believe that he is a better creator than he is a goal scorer in terms of FPL and in terms of how Liverpool are setting up recently. However, I've always maintained, and I'll stick to this, that Salah on the counter-attack is lethal. That is the situations where you want him to kind of explode, really. And the next 2 fixtures, Spurs and Brighton, I think are Salah fixtures. So I'm trying to look at the tactical matchups here, and I feel like this fixture really does suit Salah on the counter-attack. So I do feel like it's not just going to be penalties from him in terms of goals. It's also going to be goals on those counter-attacks. Now, I'm hoping for a big scoring game here. Liverpool always score against Spurs, so that's definitely a very positive sign there. I just feel like it's a good time to jump on Salah Salah if you need to. A lot of people will be jumping on him a little bit later in a few game weeks time, which is absolutely fine as well. The fixtures look better on paper a little bit later, but even now, the matchup's good, and Liverpool are in very good attacking form, and I'm keen to get in on their attackers, and I'll be very happy if Salah keeps getting those jammy penalties. I don't care how those points come, as long as they come. Next up, we've got Heung-min Son. Of course, he was never going to leave this team. Been an absolute legend since I signed him, despite the blank against Sheffield United. You would probably say that Son is probably one of the most guaranteed need to buy must-have players in FPL right now, and it's not necessarily for this Liverpool game. Although I do think this Liverpool game is a game that suits Son. I have said this before, I'll say it again. And after that, Luton and Fulham, pretty nice, easy fixtures there as well, where I think he can do well if he continues to play in that central striker position. I do also like Son for next game week as a captain as well, so that's definitely very important. It's in a game week where Salah plays against Brighton, Haaland plays against Arsenal away from home, so maybe that would be a good time to go different on the captain's armband and go for Son instead. We know his ceiling is super, super high. We've got Maddison up next. Not so convinced by Maddison this game week. I would say that the Luton and Fulham games are more Maddison fixtures, if you like, but I think he's going to be fine for this game week. I think he should be fit and available. I've got a bench that is strong enough to cover him, if not. And it's the next two fixtures after that where I think Maddison's going to be pretty important. After that, I probably would be looking to sell Maddison, to be honest, as Spurs fixtures do look a little bit worse after the Fulham game. But for now, I think he's going to be a really, really solid option on those set pieces. Maybe score a free kick. That would be nice. Long range shots, getting in and around the box, creating for his teammates. That Son and Maddison link up is the new Son and Kane link up in many ways, isn't it? So yeah, really, really like this one. I like this combo of Spurs players, and actually the only two Spurs players in my team, which we'll see shortly. We've got Diaby up next. Here's a player with phenomenal fixtures coming up soon. We're gonna have to wait a few weeks before the fixtures look amazing, but still, Brighton at home is a decent fixture for an attacker. Wolves is a decent fixture for an attacker. West Ham have had a poor defensive record so far this season, so I do still back Aston Villa to maybe do something there. And after that, we've got Luton, and that's where we really want to have the likes of Diaby. So Diaby still playing as essentially a second striker, out of position, only 6.6 million. Real nice bargain there. My next and final midfielder is going to be James Ward-Prowse. And this is an interesting one because in many ways, this is a one-week punt. Kind of. I do think he should do really well against Sheffield United because, as we know, Sheffield United very, very susceptible to conceding from set pieces. And James Ward-Prowse is arguably the best set piece taker in world football. So I'll let you guys discuss that one. I'll let that one linger for a second. But yeah, obviously a phenomenal set piece expert there. And against Sheffield United at home, I feel like that could pay dividends. So really kind of liking the look of that. Fancy James Ward-Prowse in this game. Pretty cheap at 6.3 million. And to be fair, he is one of those fixture-proof players that will get attacking returns against pretty much anyone. So yeah, going forward to Newcastle and Aston Villa, although they're not amazing fixtures, they're still fixtures you do quite fancy James Ward-Prowse to magically pop up with some FPL points. So Diaby and Ward-Prowse, my two cheap midfielders here that I think allow me to get Salah into my team. So I have sacrificed the likes of Rashford and Bruno, and obviously Saka, who I suspect might be out this game week. And then after that, of course, Saka plays the likes of Man City and Chelsea, which aren't great fixtures if you're an attacker. And we've kind of just mixed up the midfield. We've gone to Salah, Diaby and Ward-Prowse instead of Saka, Rashford and Bruno. So yeah, swapped about the budget a lot. I would only ever be able to do something like this with a wild card. That's the only way I can get in players like Salah and Trippier, unless I'm taking like a -12, which I don't want to do when I've got the wild card right there. I may as well just use that instead. The midfield's looking pretty strong, I think. And looking forward, I think the fixtures are good and the points potential is high. Up front, Erling Haaland, of course. He's not going anywhere. He never will, unless he gets injured, I guess. Wolves up next. Wolves, I am really worried about defensively, and I do think that Man City should be able to do the business against them. And it could be multiple goals. So I really am backing Haaland against Wolves. Got a nice rest in the midweek as well. Didn't play any minutes against Newcastle, despite the fact that they lost that game, which is interesting. So yeah, I think he's going to be a really, really important pick once again this game week. And then after that, the fixtures do get worse for Manchester City. Injured players will come back into the team, but one thing is for sure, Haaland will play and Haaland will score. It is just a guarantee of life at this point, really, isn't it? And we're going to finish off the attack with one player who you might not expect me to pick. I know you guys are thinking, oh, is he going to go for Alvarez or something like that? No, this is me we're talking about. Darwin Nunez. Yes, going for a little bit of a risk here with Darwin Nunez. He looks a different player this year, and I'm not going to hold grudges from last season on him. I think he's looked very, very good. I think, once again, this is a fixture, Spurs, that does suit him as a player. He has been more clinical this year, and he is getting a lot of chances. We know when Darwin starts and when Darwin plays, he is very, very dangerous. It's just been a question so far this season of whether Darwin is first choice. Now, I do think, with the evidence that we've got, the cup rotations that we've seen, Darwin is probably first choice, and the first choice front three for Liverpool. And Liverpool fans, let me know in the comments if you agree with me or not. But I think it's Salah on the right, Darwin in the middle, and Luis Diaz on the left. And I think that front three is going to be the front three that they're going to be rolling with for most Premier League games. So, we've got some nice fixtures against Spurs and Brighton, who suit a player like Darwin on the counter-attack, running in behind. I think this could be very, very dangerous, and I feel like he could be a forward who scores points, maybe goals, maybe the odd assist as well here and there. He's looked dangerous every time he's been on the pitch, and I want to get involved in that. I want that, and I want to get ahead of a lot of other people who perhaps will be more safe on an Alvarez right now, for example, maybe going for a Morris for the double game week. I think I would rather go for Darwin and try and see what happens that way. I think this is going to be a really interesting pick, if nothing else. And it's a me pick, you know? So, yeah, I've got to stay true to myself and the way I want to play FPL, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's bring up the bench, guys. We've got Turner, of course, on the bench. Another cheap goalkeeper. Nice cheap goalkeeper rotation. Turner plays against Luton Town next game week, or the game week after, and he's got another good fixture next week as well. I can't remember who it is now. I probably should have made a note of that. I'll check it in a second. But yeah, Turner's got 2 good fixtures in game week 8 and 9, so there's going to be a nice rotation there between Turner and Areola that I can kind of work with when Areola has those more difficult fixtures. We've got Botman still, and I probably will stick with him, even if he is going to be out for just this game week. If Botman's out for multiple game weeks, I'd probably switch him to Burn, maybe, and just save the extra 0.1 million. But right now, I'm happy to cover Botman with Taylor, because I would prefer to have Botman in the long run. So that's why I've kind of gone with it that way. I do like Botman for future game weeks as well. I like Matty Cash for future game weeks as well. He's still looking really, really attacking, Cash, isn't he, on that right-hand side. He's generating the most XG. Well, certainly taking the most shots by far of any defender in FPL right now. So, really dangerous player taking shots in the box, and I want the opportunities to score goals from my defenders. I want those defenders that can score me big. So I did get in ahead of the price rise for Matty Cash. Bought him for 4.7 million already. So yeah, he's gone up to 4.8 now. So I got ahead of that one, which I'm pretty happy with. Not massively keen on this Brighton fixture, because I think Brighton will score against Villa. And I'm still not totally convinced by Villa's defensive numbers, but I do like Cash for his attacking numbers. And when we start to play the teams like Wolves and Luton Town in the upcoming game weeks, at that point, I would absolutely love to have Cash in my team. Osla finishes off the bench at 4.4 million, just because he's a super cheap guy, but I am kind of hoping that Mubama drops to 4.3. If Mubama drops to 4.3, then I'll go in for him, because let's be honest, I'm never going to play that third striker. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, there's a few players who are missing from this team. I'm not going to go for Udogie, for example. I kind of worked it out and kind of figured out, actually, when am I going to play Udogie? I'm not really a player I'd want to play every game week necessarily. I'd probably play him against Luton, but even then, I'd maybe just play Botman against West Ham. Would I play him against Fulham? Well, Botman has Crystal Palace in that game week, and after that, Spurs' fixtures don't look that good. I was also actually having a look at Udogie's attacking numbers. They're not as good as I thought they were, to be honest. He looks promising when you watch him play, but actually his attacking numbers are not that dangerous. I think he's kind of making a lot of second assists. He's in the kind of just kind of outside the box areas coming on the inside, but actually he's not really having much to do in the final goal scoring opportunities. So yeah, he's still a really good pick. I definitely still like Udogie as a pick, but I'm not going to play him this game week. I can cover him with Botman in a game week 8 and 9, and then after that, I probably would be looking to bench him most of the time anyway. So what's the point, basically? Go for Kabore, go for Charlie Taylor, go for these cheap guys and save a little bit of budget, which allows me to upgrade someone like Gordon or Decore, who a lot of you guys would probably go as your 5th midfielder on a wild card. Allows me to upgrade those players to a James Ward-Prowse. Now, I don't mind Decore, I don't mind Gordon, but at the same time, I'm a bit worried about Gordon, his long-term prospects. How many goals is he actually going to be involved with in the Newcastle side? Probably a couple, but like, is it going to be anything mega? Probably not, to be honest. And yeah, some of his fixtures are not great in the slightly longer term. I think another problem with Gordon is he's a difficult player to escape from because there's not really many players around his price point that I like. Decore, I just don't really fully trust Everton. Like, no surprise there. Yeah, so I feel like with Gordon, one more yellow card, he gets a suspension as well. James Ward-Prowse, I prefer him. I just prefer him, and I feel like given the option, if money is no issue, most people probably would pick Ward-Prowse ahead of Gordon, and I've found a way to make it happen. So that's what we're kind of rolling with at the moment, and I think overall, I've managed to build a team that has all the key components. It has a Trippier, Salah, Son, and Haaland. These are kind of the big important players. We've got like a Luton Town player in there. We've got another double game week player in Taylor in there as well. We've managed to switch to 2 cheap goalkeepers. We've got Diaby ready for his excellent run of fixtures. We've got Ward-Prowse, who I think is going to be a really nice set piece, kind of differential there. And we've got a nice bit of spice, a little bit of risk in Darwin Nunez up front as well. So it's kind of got a lot of the things that I'm kind of looking for, a lot of the things I like, and it's kind of come together quite nicely. It's not the safest wildcard in the world, I know that, but it's got a lot of things I love about it. And yeah, I've got a little bit of a plan of what kind of players I can bring in the future, and I want to share that with you guys as well, because a wildcard is for more than just one game week, and to have a rough idea of a plan of where you're going to move forward, I think it's really, really useful. So yeah, let's do that next. Okay, guys, so I've loaded up my team, my new wildcard team in the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool. Don't forget, guys, that you can still check this out and get your free trial. You can access this tool from completely free, get the full free trial for 7 days as well. And they're still running until the Game Week 7 deadline. They're win your money back if you don't win your mini league promotion. So if you don't win your mini league, they give you your money back for the whole year's subscription. So really nice deal. They're only running that until the Game Week 7 deadline. So make sure you click the link in the description and get that deal now before it disappears. Because yeah, money back. Who doesn't like that? Fantasy Football Hub free for the rest of the season. It's amazing. I can't think of anything better personally. Well, other than winning FPL, but this will help. This will help towards that goal. Anyway, this is my team. As we can see, it's a 96% rated by the AI. The order of players is preferred by the AI as well. So playing Taylor, playing Kabore is preferred to the likes of Botman and Cash for this game week, according to the predictive models, which I think is quite nice. The only player that the AI doesn't really like is Darwin, but I'm not totally surprised by that one. It's based on previous minutes, and you know, it's trying to predict minutes based on that, but I'm trying to kind of beat the AI, beat the computers, because we know the computers don't know everything, but it gives you a good idea kind of thing. So that's how I kind of use this tool. Moving forward, the team looks good. So let's switch to game week 8. And in this game week, we would move Taylor and Kabore to the bench, as you might expect, and we'll play Cash and Botman. And this starts to look a little bit better for those slightly more expensive defenders, and should be pretty powerful there. We'll have a really nice midfield across the line, other than Ward-Prowse, who is a difficult fixture against Newcastle. So there's a little bit of controversy there. West Ham against Newcastle. I can't win on both parts, unfortunately, but still, I'm playing the long game here and seeing what can possibly happen. After that, we will probably have to make our first transfer, because you can't save more than 2 transfers. So at this point, I need to decide what to do. Do I take Ward-Prowse out at this point, or do I just take him out in game week 8? Do I try and switch him to someone else? Do I try and find another midfielder that can do pretty well? That I'm kind of leaving up in the air. That first transfer that I'm going to be forced to use in game week 8 or 9, I'm kind of just going to try and save it to use reactionarily. I kind of want to have that transfer as one in the back pocket, just in case I find myself in trouble. You know, something goes wrong with Diaby, he gets injured or something, or, you know, Darwin isn't starting when I thought he would do. Ward-Prowse, I don't like his fixtures. We can use that transfer. I'll have a little bit of money in the bank as well to potentially do something, and we'll go that way. After that, game week 10, and this is where I'll probably make a couple of changes. So at this point, I'll probably be looking to remove Maddison and either upgrade him to a Saka, because at that point, Saka plays against Sheffield United. You can see it here in game week 10, Sheffield United at home. So I either bring in Saka for Maddison, or I downgrade him to Mittelmer, or I do a combination of both. I would also potentially look to get a Stupinian in because I do want to get Brighton players in at this point. For example, let's just find a Brighton player in defenders. Estupinian, where are you? So from this point onwards, we have Fulham, Everton, Sheffield United, and Nottingham Forest all in a row. So I would be looking to potentially get a couple of Brighton players in, and it would be nice to have 2 transfers at this point. So for example, we might go Maddison out, remove him, throw in Kaoru Mitoma, and we've got, we'll still have, I believe, 1.4 million in the bank at this point, which will allow us to pretty much upgrade anyone. We could even upgrade like Kabore, for example. We won't need Kabore anymore. Bring in a Stupinian, or I could switch out Botman maybe, and maybe do it that way. That would work, and then I could start playing a Stupinian every game week and maybe benching the likes of Botman. The other option is to downgrade Trippier to a Stupinian and save a little bit of money, free up a little bit of cash that way. And if I do that, we can also afford to maybe do the upgrade from Maddison up to Saka, because we freed up a little bit of budget to allow us to do that. So there's different kind of options here. I've got a rough plan. I don't think it's a good idea to have an exact plan that you must follow, because things change so quickly in FPL and in the football world that things won't go to plan. They never do. But to have that rough idea of saying, okay, at this point, who are the players I'd be willing to sacrifice? I could probably sacrifice 1 Newcastle defender. I could probably sacrifice Ward-Prowse by that point. I could probably sacrifice Maddison at that point, but keep Son. And yeah, I'll be looking to get Brighton players in and the odd Arsenal guy in as well. We could even move Darwin to Jesus if that doesn't work out. I want to get in on Arsenal that way. Different kind of options for me, but that would be the direction I'll be looking to move my team in. And I think like Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool is just a really, really good tool to try and just kind of plan out and figure out what your kind of options are there. I was playing around with this tool for, and I kid you not, 2.5 hours last night trying to figure out my wildcard, trying to figure out what kind of transfer plans that I could make. So really, really do recommend you guys go check this out. If you are a member already, use this tool, utilize this tool. It is really going to help you to plan out future game weeks, when you're going to wildcard, what your wildcard's going to look like in future game weeks rather than just for one game week. So handy. Link in the description, like I say, guys, to go and check that one out. So there we have it, guys. The first wild card of this season. It is in the bag. We'll have a couple of changes before deadline, so do make sure you are subscribed, notifications on, and we'll try and keep you at least a little bit updated with what my thought processes are. We're going to cover all of the press conferences tomorrow, all of the injury news. We're going to put it all in one video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Do like this video if you enjoyed this one as well. Go check out that video if you want. See what the experts are up to this game week. Not sure if I'd call myself one of them, but those guys, yeah, good managers. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.